Hello and welcome to Matt Loves Eurovision. It's my Eurovision 2023 Top 37 countdown. It's place number 7. It's Lithuania, Monika Linkytė and Stay. Please do click the subscribe button, ring that notification bell and like, share and comment below. As always, the link to the music video is in the description and also to my blog post. So the final and highest place of the Baltic countries in my countdown is Lithuania, and it's actually been the highest placed Baltic country in my last 3 countdowns, all within the top 10, in fact 2 number 1s and I think it was top 5 last year. However, in terms of Eurovision wins, they are probably the least successful of the Baltics. They haven't won Eurovision, whereas Latvia and Estonia have. Yet they probably have the best qualification record of the 3 Baltic countries. Monika was actually part of that success, having qualified for the final back in 2015 as part of a duo. She is back this year, the highest placed of the 4 returning artists this year. So can she make a return to the grand final? Well, she actually had many attempts to get to Eurovision as part of the kind of Lithuanian national final. In fact, she tried to get junior Eurovision when she was much younger. And she had several attempts going through the Lithuanian national selection. But she was finally successful in 2015 with This Time, a song that she sung with Vaidas Baimila. And they finished 18th in the grand final. This is her first attempt to return to the contest since then. And she has won as a solo artist this time with her song Stay. In the final, she was tied for first place, but she was given the win as she had scored better with the juries. And in Lithuania's national final rules, the jury overrides the televote in terms of kind of when there's a tie. Stay is in some ways a fairly traditional pop ballad, but the chorus and backing vocals are done via 4 on-stage gospel choir singers. Also, the chorus prominently features this Lithuanian phrase "shuto tuto," which comes from Lithuanian folk music. Now, this might be, well, it depends on what you see from some of the other entries I've got in my top 10, but this might be the most surprising entry in my top 10, perhaps, for some of you. But I do think this is very underrated, or underrated by some of the fandom anyway. It's such a cosy, feel-good song, and Monika combines some really kind of stunning vocals with what is a very warm and inviting performance. I think the live backing singers that are kind of an integral part of the stage performance, rather than being off to the side or or in the background, really do make a difference to this. And Monika interacts with them really well. And that use of that Lithuanian phrase, the shuto tuto, really works well too. It gives the entry something extra, and it's obviously very catchy and memorable. It's one of those songs that at times it can give me those sorts of the chills, the hairs on the back of your arm standing on end, etc. Unprompted. And that's always for me a marker of a good song, or a song that I engage well with. Now, it's fair to say that this hasn't necessarily set the fan polls alight. It's roughly 2/3 down the way the list on the Eurovision scoreboard app, just about in the grand final placings. But I think that just this a bit of a disservice. She's in the second semi-final, which is kind of the more open semi-final, as people are calling it. And I think there is actually generally high confidence that this will qualify. The Lithuanian diaspora is probably the most reliable and organised of all of the diasporas in terms of getting out the votes for the televote in other countries. And there are several countries in this semi-final, voting in this semi-final, that have historically tended to provide Lithuania with a big televote. UK being one of them, but there's also Estonia. You also have Ukraine, and there are Georgia. There are a couple of others as well. All have got a fairly high, a tendency to vote for Lithuania on the televote, or give them a decent amount of points. So I expect that vote to go with her, and I'm sure she will pick up points as well, or televotes from just from the performance of the song anyway. And once in the final, I do hope that the juries give this some reward and appreciate it a bit. And also it can appeal to the televote wider than just the diaspora. I think the live backing vocals, rather than pre-recorded, with that very visible participation in the performance, would, I hope, set this apart from some of the other entries and get some appreciation. She'll be using some, I think, UK-based backing singers, potentially. I don't know yet at the time of recording this, whether they will be from the same London gospel choir that she used, that she had on stage with her at London Eurovision. There was actually, there was more than 4 of them. It was a great sort of moment, because in terms of that chorus, with so many of them there. But so it may well be some of those people that she worked with when she was in London. So we'll have to see. At the end of the day, though, I do hope that, I think she deserves this, I do hope that she finishes higher than her 18th place in 2015. But of course, just getting to the final is still the main thing. But I do think this deserves a good result at Eurovision. Do let me know what you think in the comments, and join me again very soon. Take care.